now for our next news special report.
Tonight, a constitutional crisis unfolds in Washington as the House holds Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt. Amid stunning revelations of President Biden's lies and foreign influence peddling, the DOJ stands accused of unprecedented obstruction. But one congresswoman is vowing to take this battle to the next level, threatening Garland's very freedom. As the tensions between Congress and the executive branch reach a boiling point, the very fabric of our republic hangs in the balance. Now, friends, I know you are as alarmed as I am by AG Garland's blatant disregard for Congress. It's a slap in the face of the American people and a grave threat to our constitutional checks and balances. But just as the founders stood firm against tyranny, so too must we stand united in defense of truth and accountability. That's why I'm asking for your urgent support today. By donating at the links below, you can help us keep fighting for the principles that make America great. Don't let Garland's contempt go unanswered. Stand with us now before it's too late. Now, in a move that has sent shockwaves through the nation's capital, the House of Representatives voted 208 to 207 to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress. Here's that moment.
On this vote, the yeas are 208, the nays are 207. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
The dramatic decision came after weeks of escalating tensions between the legislative and executive branches, with GOP lawmakers accusing the Department of Justice of unprecedented obstruction and a brazen disregard for congressional oversight. At the heart of this controversy lies President Joe Biden's growing classified documents scandal. Shocking revelations have exposed not only Biden's mishandling of sensitive materials, but also his repeated lies to the American people about his knowledge and involvement. Worse still, the House Oversight Committee has uncovered evidence that the Biden family, including the president himself, has raked in a staggering $18 million from foreign individuals and entities, pointing to a vast influence peddling scheme that threatens our national security, as declared by Representative Comer on the House floor before the vote. Watch this.
Thank you. I appreciate the gentleman from Ohio for yielding. Mr. Speaker, I rise in support of the resolution. This is not a complicated matter. The Oversight and Judiciary Committees issued duly authorized legal subpoenas to Attorney General Garland for a certain set of documents, including the audio recordings of Special Counsel Hur's interview with President Biden. The Attorney General has refused to produce these audio recordings. Unlike what my Democratic colleagues keep claiming, this is not just Republicans who need these recordings for their oversight duties. Media outlets, including the AP, CBS, CNN, NBC, and the Washington Post, among others, have filed suit to get these same audio recordings as well. Because the media, like everyone else, knows there's no substitute for a recording of an interview. Not a transcript, not a summary, not the Attorney General's judgment that Congress doesn't need it. The Oversight Committee's investigation of these classified documents has already revealed that the White House's official timeline of events regarding these classified materials left out very important details. For instance, White House employees were entering the Penn Biden Center and moving documents months before the discovery of the classified materials by President Biden's personal attorneys in November 2022. One of those employees was former White House counsel Dana Remus. We issued a subpoena for Mrs. Remus's deposition, but the White House has blocked Mrs. Remus from speaking to the Oversight Committee. The White House has also blocked other White House employees who visited the Penn Biden Center before November 2022 from speaking to us. What is the Biden administration trying to hide? Attorney General Merrick Garland's refusal to produce this evidence establishes a clear pattern of obstruction by the DOJ to cover up President Biden's wrongdoing. President Biden has lied to the American people about his mishandling of classified documents. He has repeatedly denied not knowing about or being involved in his family's influence peddling schemes, which the Oversight Committee can now show has raked in $18 million from foreign individuals and entities for the Biden family members, including President Biden himself. He also met with nearly all his family's foreign associates. President Biden's Department of Justice appears to be taking every step to insulate him from the consequences, whether it's hiding these audio recordings or attempting to give Hunter Biden a sweetheart plea deal to shield Joe Biden from facing accountability for his role in his family's influence peddling schemes. This is unacceptable. The House of Representatives cannot serve as a necessary check on the presidency if the executive branch is free to ignore the House's subpoenas. I urge my colleagues to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress, and I yield back.
And that they did. As Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer explained in his impassioned House floor speech, the DOJ appears to be taking every step to shield Biden from the consequences of his actions. By refusing to produce critical audio recordings of interviews with the president and attempting to give Hunter Biden a sweetheart plea deal, Garland stands accused of actively obstructing justice and undermining the rule of law. But the House GOP is not backing down, arguing that Congress cannot serve as a necessary check on the presidency if its subpoenas are ignored. Lawmakers are vowing to hold Garland accountable and expose the full extent of the Biden family's corruption. Leading the charge is Representative Paulina Luna, who has warned Garland that his arrest may be imminent if the DOJ fails to act on the criminal contempt resolution. Watch.
During my time off for maternity, after I was told that I could not vote, I actually spent that time reading the House Rulebook and Manual. And there's something that hasn't been used since the early 1900s called inherent contempt of Congress. It's actually something that any one individual member reserves. The Attorney General thought he was above the law and did not comply not just with one subpoena, but with two subpoenas. Those are subpoenas from both Chairman Jordan and Chairman Comer. I want to read this to you because ultimately, if in 10 days the Department of Justice does not do their job and hold the Attorney General responsible, just like they would any other American, I think that it should be our job in the House of Representatives to bring an inherent contempt proceeding against the Attorney General, of which I've already filed that privilege motion over a week ago. I would like to read it real quickly in saying that resolved that if in 10 days after the passage of this report, the Department of Justice had failed to indict Attorney General Garland, the Speaker of the House of Representatives shall issue his warrant commanding the Sergeant-at-Arms or his duty to take into custody the body of the said Attorney General Garland, wherever found, and bring him to the said Attorney General Garland before the bar of the House of Representatives, then and there to provide documents, materials, and answer such questions pertinent to the matter under inquiry as the House of Representatives may order the Speaker of the House of Representatives to propound and to keep the said Attorney General Garland in custody to await further orders of the House of Representatives. This is something that we reserve as an authority in order to bring back order to a House that has seemed to have forgotten it.
Wow. Luna's bold stance reflects a growing frustration among conservatives who believe the executive branch has grown too powerful and unaccountable, threatening the very foundations of our constitutional republic. As a special report reveals, the battle between Congress and the DOJ has reached a tipping point. With subpoenas ignored, lies exposed, and corruption running rampant, the American people are left to wonder whether our system of checks and balances can withstand this unprecedented assault. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. The contempt vote against AG Garland is a triumphant moment for our republic, restoring faith in our institutions and the crucial system of checks and balances. By holding the executive branch accountable, Congress has reasserted its constitutional authority and proven that no one is above the law. With the arrest clock now ticking for Garland, the American people can trust that justice will be served and that our nation's principles will endure. This is a victory for every patriot who believes in the rule of law and the preservation of our sacred constitutional order.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.